outside hitter. Elif Sahin, 22-year-old setter. Switching things up. Number 14, Eda Erdem Dündar, the experienced middle blocker at 36 years old. Number 19, Azli Kalac, 27-year-old middle blocker who plays in Fenerbahce. Ebrar Karakurt will round out the squad, the 23-year-old opposites. And Simge Akroz will be in the libero jersey. There's a confirmation of that lineup. Daniele Santarelli at the helm. He was the previous coach of Serbia, where he won the world champs in 2022. Coaches also at Conegliano in Italy since 2018. Has had a lot of success with every team that he touches over the last few years. So have no doubt already, having won the VNL with Türkiye, there are much bigger things ahead. Well, the fans are ready, I'm ready, the players are ready. So I hope you're ready at home as we get underway. Pool C, history yet to be written. Türkiye want to hold on to the top spot. The whistle has blown. Let's see how it goes. Greece on the right here in Pool C, taking on Türkiye on the left in the red. And the first action is a big block out of Greece. That's a great start for that side. Marta Antuli up at the net, taking up a lot of space. Well, Türkiye, as we mentioned, coming in with a lot of success so far. They've had nothing but wins on the board in this competition so far, only dropping one set. Eda Erdem Dündar looking for the honeypot, and she finds it. Gets a couple players on their knees. Eda Erdem, one of the most experienced players on the court at 36 years old. As we mentioned in the last match, Türkiye had 8 aces against their opponent, Czech Republic. So look for them to be serving tough from the beginning. Greece is going to have to do the same thing. They need to get Türkiye out of their offensive rhythm. Well, that'll help. Marta Antuli, best opposite of the Greek League in 2023, gets a nice high ball inside, and look at the change up there. She knows she's got to do something other than swing into that big block. She's got big hands in front of her in Karakurt. So looks down the line instead. 3-1 start for Greece. There comes Vargas. We've talked a lot about her over the last few months. Not only was a fantastic contributor to the win in the VNL, but have a look at the height she's getting. There's the speed at 98 kilometers an hour, but she's going basically OT the block. Servers just getting into rhythm. You can expect at this high level there's going to be some errors. Both these teams trying to put pressure on the other team from the service line. That doesn't happen with lollipop serves. So with that risk comes a lot of reward, but also error. Down the line. Greece still scrambling to keep things in play. But ultimately a free ball does not go past the net. I guess trying to keep things up. That's unlucky for Greece. An opportunity there as Türkiye were out of system, didn't put their strongest attack forward. They had 2 errors so far in the serve from Türkiye. Let's see what Karakurt has for us. Much better that time. Puts Greece on the back foot, but a good tip in is another response for Türkiye. Off the hands. Free ball again coming this time on Türkiye's side. Well handled. And a quick rip. While the Turkish fans are out in numbers here in Düsseldorf. You can see the flags all over the place. This is one of the best teams in the world in terms of international volleyball, so no doubt the fans are here for it. It's well left. It's a good attempt there to get past the big hands. Türkiye coming back with some fire. Now 5-4, having shut down that lead that Greece had early days. Now they're shutting down some attacks through the middle with a monster block. Baladin, just one little step, doesn't have to do much. She's prepared, her hands are high, it's just a little half jump. That's all it takes to get in front of the attacker on the other side. This time to the outside, the tip's good for Greece. Nicolo Gianni on the outside. It's a great set as well. Getting a one-on-one, beating the blockers. So that tip can fall. He's staying within one, 5-6. Deep serve, does it land on the line? Yes, it does. A serve for Greece. Defenders watching, hoping that ball to be out, but a beautiful serve there by Kalantaste, the middle blocker. She goes again. And a defense to follow it up. And Greece through Antuli on the outside. Are back in the driver's seat, 7-6. Setting from the floor is Constantinidou. Kalantatse. Again, one ace already. Goes for that same spot. But Türkiye not even phased. Send a high, wide ball back to Vargas, and there's what she can do. Almost 3 meters height attacking. And an ace serve, this time for Türkiye. Just a little pop on it from Aslı Kalac. Goes again. Same spot. High ball behind, and it's down. Antuli, she's going to be crucial for this Greek side in terms of point scoring. They're going to look to find her early and often. And there's an uncharacteristic hole in the block there. Normally, they've been really good at closing up to her outside hitter. A lot of power. And Baladin, a name we've started to know well over the last few years on the international scene. She's looking for the late close out of Lampruzzi, who's trying her best to get out there, but all that is tiny little bit of space between the two blockers, and Baladin's able to find it. Vargas goes for the top spin. Well, there haven't been a lot of service errors on Greece's side so far. In fact, it's been Türkiye with the majority of the risk-taking at the service line. You can't fault Greece for that, attempting to put some pressure on Türkiye because they're kind of coming like a tsunami of offense at the moment. Off the hands. Ball to the outside. Karakurt goes cross. She's dug, but the ball handling error. Unfortunate after a big pickup in the backcourt. Johnny stepping in. Baladin. Elbow behind again. Antuli, she's dug. Joust at the nets, kept on Greece's side. There's the throw. Vargas is underneath it. Another chance on the outside. Karakurt with two hands. Still underneath it is Vargas, but the team has not enough time to run it down. So Greece are staying in this match early days. Ana Maria Spanu, who's one of our players to watch, the 27-year-old outside hitter. So that's a good attempt to try and find the line. Again, we know Greece has to be aggressive from the line. They have to look for creative ways to force Türkiye out of their rhythm, out of their system. Here comes Greece. They're within one. Another couple errors. But you'd rather, as a coach, see that long serve. You never want to see a ball go directly in the net. You want at least the team to have a chance to play it. That one earlier, Greece got the service ace on the end line. Overpass for Türkiye. Ball behind to Vargas, cross court, and what an angle. Vargas, one of the best in the game at finding something out of nothing. That's a high, wide set, beautifully done by her setter, and she can just add so much spice to it. Greece down by 3. There's the block, but it's slow enough to recycle. Quick through the middle. Ball to the outside. Here comes Karakurt. She's dug. And it goes just wide of Vargas's feet. So the crowd continues to enjoy themselves. For her team, often likes to go cross court, but the trouble with that is if you leave her too much line, she will absolutely take it. One of you going up against one of the best players in the world. You do your best, do whatever you want, but like these fans know, Vargas and Türkiye are a dominant opponent to go up against. Gonzali goes down the line, targeting Karakurt. Ball comes back through the middle to the outside. Kept alive. Here comes Vargas again. And the same thing over and over. Same day. Different day, same story. She's going for the line this time, and that's exactly what we just talked about. Is as soon as you decide you're going to take cross on her, she will see it. She will go down the opposite direction. She is using her smarts and her vision. So yeah, keeping things alive, 16-12. Baladin forced really wide on the set. A good pick up there by Karakurts, but have a look at how far outside the antenna that set is. So still 3 points in it. Great ball in by Akuz. Deep swing from Baladin, much better. Well, looks like it went just long. The question is, was there a touch on the block? That's what this challenge system is here for. Meanwhile, it's a chance for the players and the coaches to recap. Ooh, I don't think I see a touch. Well, I'm not sure which side challenged, whether it was Greece or Türkiye, but no touch given. So Greece take the point. Baladin targeted Vargas, tip down the middle, great pickup. Greece to respond off the hands. That's still alive in the back. Vargas again, hotter, heavier, and with some authority to the cross courts. Vargas sees a wide open channel between the two blockers. Doesn't have to go line, doesn't have to go cross. Just tries her luck through the middle. Ball behind to Antuli for Greece. Couple of players on the floor, but a little slow to do it. And Antuli, the best scorer of the BVA qualification, under 17 in 2020. Tries her luck against a one-on-one. That's the middle blocker on the floor. Antuli finds Akuz. Ball comes back. Challenge unsuccessful is what that should have said, as Greece was the one to challenge. That did land in, so Türkiye will continue on a roll, and now it's a timeout called. Well, the benefit of having a Turkish coach on the Greece side is he'll know these players inside and out, and he's saying, Hande Baladin, target her, please, in the reception. She's a little unstable in that zone. She has a two-time Club World Championship, but everyone has their weaknesses, and that's exactly what the coach of Greece is looking for, just those small chinks in the armor. It's 16-18. Banu Well picked up, staying in play. There's the push to Vargas. Quick ball through to Erdem. There's a beautiful reaction there on that tip. And almost a one-on-one. The two players diving into the spot, but I think that ball went straight in the net. Erdem giving a freebie back to Greece. Another tip, doesn't fall yet. Good joust. Stays on Türkiye's side. Vargas deep to Antuli. She keeps it in play. Back outside for the lefty on the outside. Stransali, who's been relatively quiet in the offense. The 27-year-old outside hitter has a fair amount of experience on her side. She's played in Alba Blaj, Romania, Poland, Italy, France. Went to the University of Miami in Florida. Go Canes. Headed over to Athens next season. Really important in the offense for Greece. They need to keep her firing. Meanwhile, Vargas continues firing on her side. Vargas now with 5 points. Have a look at how much space you see from that angle perfectly. She's in the air and she has a one blocker in front of her, but she makes it look like no blocker. She has the angles that she can pretty much use the entire net. Tip throw. Sent right back in the same way. I like it. And there's a look at some of the players who are typically starters. Jansu Ojbe, setter, and Sera Gunesh, normally starting faces in the lineup, but it's nice to see some of Turkey's substitutions getting some play. Turkey, one of those teams that has so much depth on their bench that even the players that don't get to see the court that often are at the highest level of volleyball. Having a look at some of the stats. Greece has 4 errors so far, most of them in the serve. Same thing for Türkiye. They have 9. They've been giving up a lot of points, but even so, despite the errors, 9 of Greece's points right now have been given for free by Türkiye, so only 10 points they've earned. Ayçak typically wearing the libero jersey for Vakıfbank. Goes in for the serve. Let's see. Does the libero get an ace for Türkiye? That's the question. Bowling out. Oh, just out. Turkiye's fans still going strong. Vargas, though, into a net. Find yourself with an attackable ball. Try to recycle the ball and trust in your defense and go again. Vargas. Well, she doesn't take the tipping, rolling advice, but she does take the find a way to score advice. And that's how it's done. Runs around to the back again. Finds the block a little disheveled on Greece's side. And there's only one player up to try and slow her down. Tough serve. Blockers ready. Great pickup. Ball stays alive. Antuli has to send a freebie. Ball to the outside. Karakurt is dug. Antuli again with the tip. And there's the tip that has been working over and over. That's the advice. Antuli listening in to Coach Santarelli maybe from the other side of the court. You see a well-formed block or you don't know how to get through it. And the cheeky tip. 22 points apiece. Crunch time now. Vargas delivers again. Vargas with a much quicker set that time, and you saw how she had to kind of make a loop around the setter in order to get in a hitting position. Often finds herself creating space, finding any way she can to get open for her setter as one of the go-to attackers on this red jersey side. Vargas now has 8 kills and 3 errors. Karakurt. We haven't seen her at her best yet this match. Only 2 kills. Greece keeping things close. Nicologiani, who had an ace last time around. Excuse me, that was Kalantante in the serve. And the boom response from Türkiye. That brings up set point. Greece so close to stealing a set from Türkiye. Will they allow it? Or will they shut it down right here? Ball to the pipe. Greece, stay alive. Targeting the corner and the pipe that, again, we haven't seen a whole lot of it, but Stavansali just popping up out of nowhere. Vargas, she's dug. Ball stays in play. Antuli can't get it to cross the net. And that one might come back to haunt her. So there's another challenge. Here's the question. Did that ball potentially hit the forearms of the blockers? We know it didn't go through the net, but 9 times out of 10, when there's a block up and 4 touches are called or just net is called, there might be, if the blockers are doing what they're supposed to do, which is penetrate over the net, chances are there might be a little touch there. And we'll get a chance to see it as we've got a challenge in process. No matter which way it goes, this also might be a chance just to slow down the momentum of Türkiye. So Greece need a reset. Oh, you know what? Well, it's called unsuccessful, but that's very close if you ask me. Right on Ada Erdem's left arm. But point stays with Türkiye. 25-24. Can they close it out here, or will Greece hold on for another set? Point. No, they won't. It's an ace serve. Vargas. 100 kilometers an hour. She sends that ball flying across the net. And with that ace serve, the first set is done. He's looking straight down the middle at Stransali. And there's spin and there's firepower. And there's an ace. Türkiye takes set number 1. That's how it was done. 26-24. Greece showing up to play. Türkiye, that was not an easy set for them. They did give up a fair few errors, as we'll see in the stats here. 13 errors Türkiye gave up to Greece, so pretty much half of the scoreline. They followed that up with 16 kills to 9, 2 blocks to 1, 2 aces to 1, and Greece only gave up 6 errors, so that's a stat that they can be proud of. They did hold their own in certain areas, but Türkiye, again, Karakurt, typically an opposite as well, and she's playing in that outside hitting role for her team at the moment. They're just wanting to make sure they get both those players on court, and it pays off because then you got a nice big block, 197 centimeters of her. Karakurt, her last name means wolf, a black wolf, as you can see from her tattoo on her neck. There's the tip throw. Türkiye stays in it. High ball to Karakurt on the outside, and that'll feel good. The opposite turned outside hitter finds some sharp angles to get her team underway. Gets inside the block of Kalantatse. High ball has to be rolled. Stransali gets the ball right back from Vargas, and the ball is up, defended. Oh, that's got to be it. Türkiye starting strong here in the second set. 3-0 lead already. High ball behind for Antuli into a big block, and again it's Karakurt who's the protagonist on the left side. Antuli diving in. She sees 4 big hands ahead of her. She might have wanted to go line there, but perhaps didn't have enough width from the set, and that's something the coach was talking about too, putting the setters, or the setter, putting the hitters in better positions to score. Ball goes back over, Karakurt again. Well, I love this for Karakurt. She's not in her comfortable position. She's being used in a way that she's not typically used to being used, but she's finding a way to contribute to her team nonetheless. And that's what all the coach can ask out of any player. Antuli taking a rest. Lefty from Stransali on the outside. She's the best scorer of the Mediterranean Games in 2022. Finds a way to go sharp down the line, just catches Vargas on the shoulder. Constantinidou, 26-year-old setter. Setter in the Israeli Cup 2021. Doesn't do enough in the serve because it's Türkiye coming back with some heat. Great ball in from Baladin, and look at the push. Just making some space between the setter and the blocker. Quick behind, off hands. Great response out of Greece. We haven't seen a whole lot of middle action. It's Kalantatse to get involved there. She won the Greek Cup 2 times. Plays in Athens. 26-year-old middle blocker is going to be necessary. I think Greece need to use their middle more often. Keep Türkiye honest. Same thing, Türkiye sending it through the center. Great dig in the backcourt. Kept out of the net, a recycle play. Karakourt gets another shot at it, and she'll do it over and down. Clever action there by Karakourt. The first time that she had a chance to swing, she didn't like the set, rolls it into the hands. Her team can recycle, then she gets a better shot at it. A bigger bite at the pie. And it's 7-2. Good dig in the backcourt. Vargas into the hands. The block is good, well placed. 4 Greek hands slowing down Vargas. Possibly for the first time in the match that she's been blocked. Kalantatse plays back to serve after that block. Finds Baladin, that's a good target, as the coach suggested. And that's often one of the strategies, targeting the outside hitter, so she then has trouble to attack. So she does get a good ball in, but then having a shortened attack zone means she's got to try and do something different with it. Still 7-4 lead. Vargas off the hands. And a run down, but it can't come back in play. Vargas adding way too much heat on that. Perfect ball in from Akoj. Türkiye has a wealth of libero strength as well between Akoj and Gizem. Baladin, that's what she likes the best. And for Baladin, well, she's known for a few different things. She likes her tips and rolls, but if you get her fired up, she's one of those players, all the Turkish players you can probably say this about, she's going to play with a lot more heat after you've seen maybe an error or she's been targeted. She's coming back with way more aggression. There's a huge block from the captain. Eda Erdem Dündar. Look at the arms. She is in rhythm to close exactly where she is, and she's one of the best in the game to do it. 10-4 lead. Greece is out of system, and Tuli has to tip. Can't find the court. quality of the players he's playing against, but let's just try, see if it works. And in addition, add a little bit more middle in the mix. I don't think the plan was to set Vargas on the other side. Constantinou from the floor, having to bump set, trying to get it to the outside. Vargas says, thank you very much, I'll have a piece of that. Nicolo Gianni into the mix for Spanu. Nicolo Gianni's sister Vasiliki also plays volleyball, might be watching on from home. There's the pipe. Türkiye out of system, but it's a high ball to Vargas. Does she deliver? Yes, but she's dug. Cross-court dig. Cross-court attack from the outside. Nicolo Gianni, who's just entered the game. Fresh legs, fresh confidence. Goes down the line against Vargas, looking for that little bit of space between her and the antenna. Maladin tight to the net, through the middle to Eda Erdem. Does Antuli find the end line? Yes or no, says the referee. She does not. Ball's coming a little inside. Looks like we got a challenge coming. Marta Antuli did take a big rip to the end line there. It's a smart play for her not to swing down. Doesn't find it. Antuli's only played volleyball in Greece professionally, but she's headed over to Chieti in Italy next season. She's proven herself one of the better players in the game, especially on this Greek league, this Greek team. So she's stepping up to the big leagues next season in Italy. Vargas goes with 106 kilometers. Well, a bit of luck for Greece just to get out of the way there. to 6. Nicolo Gianni, 24-year-old outside hitter. Big block, and it's a one-on-one. Constantinou. The lefty goes straight up and down, taking away any line possibilities. That's a little bit of a tight set for Baladin, but the pressure on the block, perfection. 7-13. Tip, and another error out of Baladin. A few in a row for the outside hitter. She's been struggling now to try and make something out of these sets. Nicolo Gianni. Well, just to give you an idea of the service speed, 87 kilometers an hour. That's pretty average in the 80s for most of these serves, and that'll put into perspective Vargas's 106 kilometer an hour serve. 14-8. Baladin. She's targeting Artekianu. Block is good, over in 2. Out of court is kept alive, but the error back to the Turkish side. Love that aggression out of Karakurt. She sees it, gets up early and responds. And the Baladin, two-time Club World Championship winner, with the serve and forces another error. Well, Greece was within striking distance on the first set. Türkiye stepping up their game here in the second. And one of the major differences, Türkiye have cut down on their errors. Only 2 errors here in the second set as opposed to 13 that they had in the first. Bomb set. Hand set, excuse me, but to the middle. And the setter taking things into her own hands. There it is, Elif Şahin, CEV Cup winner in 2022, plays in Eczacıbaşı. Clever serve, ball goes just wide. And things keep ticking over for Türkiye. And the Baladin. 2-time Turkish Super Cup winner, 2-time CEV Cup winner, still at the line for Türkiye. As another change comes in on the Greek side. Alina Baka. Outside hitter plays in Chamelier, France. In to try and stabilize a little bit of reception. High ball. Has to be a freebie. Türkiye to handle it. Yes, Simge. And Eda Erdem Dündar fed up with some butter on the slide. She's up, she's early. That's one of her go-to attacks. She has been and continues to be one of the best in the world to get offensively going. 36 years old. I feel that Türkiye uses her sparingly now as one of the veterans on the game. Played in Fenerbahce since 2008, but when they do use her, still as good as it ever was. Short serve from Kontai. Well, it didn't look that aggressive of a serve, but sometimes just changing things up, not necessarily going full power, just doing something to make a different player play the ball, get her on the floor. Of course, Karakurt, surprisingly, Hande Baladin continues to be the target. I think if I were serving, I'd put it right on Karakurt, but I'm not the coach. Down the line. Just wide from the captain, Erdem Dündar. She's typically been the best middle blocker of the Turkish league. She was in 2006, was again in 2022. That's the level of playing she has been at for how many years? Over a decade. Almost 2 decades that she's been at the top level. Give her the line, she'll take it. High ball. Here comes Karakurt. She'll tip it right into the honeypot. Karakurt, another one of those players. She's still young, only 23 years old. We saw her in Novara last season, headed over to Russia for the next. She's been growing steadily year by year, adding some tips and rolls to her repertoire. And some big stuff blocks continue on the Turkish side. Karakurt teaming up with Kalac. Ashley Kalac, the 27-year-old middle blocker, getting the chunk of that one. Panagiota Zantopoulou, 23-year-old setter. Serving at 12-22, and she aces the libero. How about that? Simge, the 32-year-old libero who's played in Eczacıbaşı since 2016, typically one of the best liberos in the world. Best receiver of the Turkish league in 2021. If you're ever going to get an ace, that one will feel the best. Does she get another? No. Gets a free ball, though. That's just as good. And the response is emphatic on the outside. Bit of help from the net there. That almost finds the ground. But there on the outside, Elena Baca gets a bit of heat. Another tough serve. Finds Türkiye out of rhythm. They go heavy off the hands. And Tuli does the same. She's dug. Here comes Karakurt one more time. There's the tip. It worked last time, not this time. Will she go again? Stronger. And that's what has changed about Karakurt. Goes tipping on the first one when she doesn't feel like she's in a good place. Gets two bodies on the floor. Free ball opportunity, and then she can go even harder and more aggressive. That's a clever play out of the youngster. Well, the error is starting to creep back in for Türkiye. Now with 4 errors in this set. A couple of them coming at the end line on the serve. Tough serve again for Simge to handle, but she does much better that time. There's some conversation as well to see whose ball that might have been. Vargas, as you can see, just keeping her body out of the way there. That's what I'm talking about, that Vargas does not play on the outside. They push her over to the right side, even when it's difficult, even when she's got to cross the entire court in reception to do it. Ball in or out. Not much of a doubt there. With that, Karakurt back at the line. Set point Türkiye, 24-15. And another serve in the net. Türkiye has missed a few serves so far. Still set point. Chance for Baladin on the outside, goes into the block and finds the floor. So Türkiye can celebrate a second set win over Greece. Look at that final play. They were really targeting Baladin to the left side, making her, forcing her to play that ball. But she does so beautifully, gets the response from her setter. (2-0), 26-24, and 25-16. Greece was right there in that first set. You can see the coach, Daniele Santarelli, ready to chat.
Daniele, first set was really, really close. The second one, quite clear. What did you change?
We serve a little bit better. We did so many mistakes in the first set. It's a really strange match until now. We did so many mistakes in both sides. Not a good match for sure. I hope that now we can do something more. I know that we are trying to push more on serve because our serve is always important for us. And today, so and so, and for this we suffer a lot. So we need to improve for sure on serve, and then maybe we are doing not an incredible job also in attack, but everything starts from the serve.
What I saw, the second set, I mean, it was a clear one, but the service was not really strong, to be honest.
Yeah. But we didn't push so much more. we found continuity. But you know, serve is really, really strange because it's something that happened in the mentality of the girls and of the team. When arrive one mistake, then arrive another mistake, then it's difficult because I would like to push more, but I cannot because we are doing a lot of mistakes. So I hope better.
We will check. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniele.
Coach Santarelli there couldn't have been clearer with his words. Better serve is what we need out of our players, just better play as well. Let's have a listen in to Coach Ochal.
Set was really, really close in the second one. Even the service of the Turkish girl weren't so good, but it was a two-world game.
Yeah, first when we start, we were not thinking so much about we will play against them really, really high level. But then we realized that we can play and we play one hard, high level sets. Then when we lost, of course, we lost our confidence too. As always, we are young and it affects so much this type of stuff. And we are playing one team which is all-star. So even 1 point they do a little bit high and we are losing our confidence too. We try to keep this confidence again and we have to show our best again like first set.
We will check.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed for third.
In the reception, and I have to question this. I know that the coach Yunus Ochal said target Hande Baladin, but I'd be targeting Karakurt all day. Well, she shows that get her once, but you can't get her again. And another fast set back to Erdem. Baladin down the line. Quick through to the middle. Greece need more of that. We heard Coach Ochal, asking for more middle to be involved. Early days is the time to do it, especially in set number 3. They haven't used it a lot. Great change-up, great angle on a one-on-one. Nicolo Gianni. There's that dialed-in reception again. And that means the setter Elif Sahin can find Vargas in the pipe. Barely has to take a step. She's going to get a one-on-one because all the blockers have to be focused on their respective hitters. And Vargas with so much angle on her. And Tuli, clever. And Tuli won the Greek League last season. She's 2 meters and 2. So she's going up there against Karakurt, who's just a little bit shorter at 197. Greece in the lead by 1. Targeting Karakurt again, high ball behind. There's the throw. Lefty goes down the middle. Karakurt cross, is it in? No sir, out of bounds, so Greece find themselves in a good spot. She's doing her best to get past the block. Coach Child just making sure there's no ball mark in the sand before we move on. Well, Greece know they have to be aggressive and serve. That's what Türkiye are known for, their aggressive serving. They've been making errors, but Greece, as we saw from that statistic, they have to find a way to make it difficult for the setter to run her offense. And the only way to do that is to be aggressive from the end line. Try to force the receivers into difficult positions. Here comes Antuli. 3 service errors in a row. Now for a casual observer is the word I'm looking for. For a casual observer, seeing all those missed serves, you might think, come on, you train that all day, every day. But it really is a matter of, at this high level, finding a way to be aggressive. It's not just putting lollipop serves over. Have to take more risk. Well, a lot of risk Olga Stransali took with her life to get in the way of Hande Baladin's swing. And another ace serve comes down the pipeline. Karakourt looks like she's going one way, changes at the last minute. Really targeting Stransali in the reception. Goes for it again. Same spot. Good reactions out of Greece. They get themselves a freebie. Stransali responds. Olga Stransali was the best outside hitter in the Romanian league in 2022. She also played over there in Cuneo, Italy. If you want to have a check out her life and what it looks like to be a professional volleyball player, we did a YouTube video together on the Volley Bubble. It's there for your viewing pleasure. Great tip. Baladin finding her rhythm here in the third. She's been a little hot and cold throughout the match. If you give her that fast ball to the outside, the blockers don't have time. And then that time goes down the line. Again, there's a lot of space between the blockers on Greece's side. Türkiye still hasn't got control of their errors. Short ball, nailed in, dialed in, absolute money from Simge Akos. She was the best libero at the Euro Champs 2019. Have a look at that ball, perfectly on the head of her setter. She can run that quick ball behind to Ada Erdem Dündar. I played against Ada Erdem back in my day, and she is so tough to read. Türkiye climbing closer to the end of this mountain, the top of the mountain. 7 is Greece, Türkiye at 9. They only need one more set to get things done here and remain undefeated. A bit of luck. The opposite, Vargas going heavy. Ball going almost out, but a touch by Antulia. She tries to get out of the way, not much she could do. That ball spinning, dipping. You'd have some major dodgeball skills, matrix style, to get away from it. 10-7. And Vargas continues at the line. Vargas gets Greece off the bat. That's a good push to the outside and just the slightest of space for Nicolo Gianni to find her way through. Baladin. And the roundhouse. Has so much space there with only one blocker up. Baladin at 11-8. Again, targeting Stranzali. Tip goes over. Vargas on the floor. Has to go high to the outside. Blockers know it, but it's free ball instead. Chance for Greece to do something. Off the hands, and they do. And that's important for Greece at this level. When they do get an opportunity, they need to grab it with both hands. And a free ball is exactly that. It's a good push from Constantinou, the lefty setter, to find her opposite spot. Karakurts. What an angle. What a shot. Karakurt was the best opposite of the VNL in 2019. She's working her way up to be one of the best outside hitters in this European competition. There's a better serve out of Dündar. Good action. There's the pipe, targeting the middle blocker who's just served. That's always a great strategy. We love our middle blockers, but we are certainly not known for our defensive prowess. 10-12. Baladin. Quick to the middle. Good recycle play. Karakurt goes off the hands. High ball. Gonzali throws to Vargas, who's on the floor, and that's the way Greece have to continue their play. Finding tiny little cracks in this Turkish armor, one of them being target the middle in the reception, another one being get Vargas on the floor. There are little ways that Türkiye can find themselves in difficulty, and it's just about Greece looking for those little moments. Another good ball in by Baladin. Vargas goes for a big swing, coming back over. Karakurt, tip. Oh, and the scramble play. Karakurt still finding a way, even in a difficult situation. She's got one blocker up. You've got to appreciate that Tsitsigianni comes down off the block, trying to help her team out. The 22-year-old opposite. She'll now have a swing. She goes off the hands. Ball behind to Vargas, who is blocked. A monster block out of Lampruzzi and Stranzali. Lampruzzi taking one step. She's a little bit on the late side, but does exactly what she needs to do, which is go over low and tight where she lands. The 29-year-old middle blocker played in Mulhouse and Romania, and now Olympiakos in Greece. Karakurt, OT. The Black Wolf strikes again. Absolutely so much line for her to take. Think about all these Turkish players, and we talked about this earlier on. Our coach Ochal is trying to find ways to slow them down, but the block makes a decision one way, the attacker's going to go the other. Ayça Aykaç. Typically wearing the libero jersey, now wearing the serving jersey, if there were such a thing. I've been twice now, just for a serving sub. Gonzali, best server of the Euro Champs qualification 2019. Doesn't get Turkish side off their mark. And instead it's Vargas who continues to put points on the board. Vargas has 14 points in attack, 16 in total, including those 2 aces she's got for her team. Kalac goes for an ace, and she will get it. Fenerbahce phenom tags the end line between 2 players, with the players kind of just watching it, not really moving with their body. That's the difference that I'm seeing from the Turkish receivers and the Greek. Is that when a tough serve comes your way, you've got to follow it with your entire body, not just with your eyes. It's 17-13. Nicologiani asks her coach if there might be a touch. Yes, there is. Point goes directly to Greece. 17-13. Effectively 2 liberos on the court. One of them aced. Greece. Giorgia Lambruzzi, the MVP of the Greek Cup in 2016 and the Challenge Cup winner of 2018. Goes aggressive and finds the floor. Again, effectively there are 2 liberos on court. She targets Baladin this time. Quick through the middle. And a monster swing for Türkiye. Turkish fans are ready to take some shots, apparently, according to the DJ here in Düsseldorf. There's the big swing. 99 kilometers an hour, but Greece somehow handles it and responds with a middle attack out of Kalandatse. That's important to keep that firing. You can't just rely on the heavy swingers on the wings. There's got to keep getting the middle blockers involved. There's Güneş on the sidelines, one of Turkiye's most famous middle blockers. Off the hands. High ball behind. Cross court is dug. There goes the outside. Again, it's another tip. Well read by Greece. Chance to swing. Just long. Was there a touch? Türkiye says no. Greece says yes. Huge touch on the left hand of Hande Baladin. So that is the correct challenge. Point for coach Yunus Ochal. He was previously the assistant coach at Turkiye and Eczacıbaşı over in Türkiye. Erdem Dündar goes ripping cross court, and we love to see Türkiye getting the middles back into the game. That fast push back, it's basically a one-on-one. Dündar high, wide, and strong. Hande Baladin. Outside, off hands or no? We might have another challenge here. The question is, did this touch the hands? Oop, I don't think so. Might have been a little bit quick to respond. Oh, net touch is what we're going for. Interesting, all right. Greece very close to getting themselves a win in this set. Ooh, close? I don't think so. The opportunity, the possibility for Greece to take this set off of Türkiye. They're going to have to do it now. Baladin at the end line at 19-17. Another point in the pocket for the team in white. Baladin has struggled at the service line all match long. That's 7 errors for her. Not all of them from the end line. She's been given a few points over to the other team. 18-19. And an ace serve. Greece with an ace serve on the floor directly in front of 2 players, Kimge and Karakurt. So if you get caught sleeping, that's when opportunities can creep in for your opponent. Another scramble play for Türkiye. Vargas off the hands, kept alive by Greece. Chance on the outside. That's dug again. Another good pickup. And eventually the ball lands on Türkiye's side. A little bit of chitter chatter begins as Greece take the lead 20-19. There's the tip throw. I think that was clean. That ball was just up on the net. Another strong serve, this time to Baladin on the other side. Cross court, Karakurt. Goes sharp past Ransali. She's doing really well to get those angles. 20 points apiece. Ransali handles that serve. Antuli goes off the blockers. Karakurt, another chance. She's dug. Great scramble play, has to be a freebie. Türkiye pick it up, ball behind to Vargas. That's a tip, and there it falls. And right into the honeypot goes Vargas. Vargas has been a huge contributor in the points for Türkiye, even with those cheeky little tips. He sees all the players of Greece on the heels. Sally, good ball in through the middle. Handled by Ada Erdem Dündar. The block. Covered by Vargas. Again goes Karakurt. Stays in play on Turkiye's side. It's Scramble City. Eventually a free ball has to be handled. Setters out. Dündar to Vargas. Another block. Another opportunity. And it's Türkiye to put the stamp on that point. Well, the opportunities were there for Greece, as they did a really good job to make things difficult for Türkiye, defending, scrapping, pushing the ball back, but eventually Karakurt does a good job of Türkiye have a 2-point advantage again. Transali. Well, that's what Greece needed. Clever swing into the block and out of bounds. Targeting the left and the right arm of the blocker on the right side. Karakurt targeted, bump set, overpass, and Greece get themselves back in position to take the set. And I have to say, targeting Karakurt, I've said it all match long, and I'm surprised it hasn't been the strategy of Greece. Now they're looking for her, getting a bump set. And the block, just wide, but in a good position. Well, Greece might be having a challenge here for in-out. Well, whether or not they actually think the ball was out or in, at least this is a chance to slow down the momentum. Let's have a look. Oh, that ball's in. That ball's in. Yes, sir. Successful challenge for Greece. Well, what seems to be working is Greece putting up a fight. 23-22. This serve's got to go to Karakurt again. Instead, Türkiye let off the hook. Deep serve. Greece bringing it back in. Free ball has to go. Situation handled easily. Ball behind to Vargas. Looking for the line, and she gets it. Vargas with so much power. She goes all the way outside the antenna, gets that approach, giving herself a huge window to work with. 24-23, Türkiye at match point. And they close it out here. Stransali says not yet with the front slide. The lefty going off one leg finds herself with enough width to do some damage there. The attack back to 24s. Greece drops it on Baladin, outside to Karakurt, and she goes wide. A point goes to Greece. And now Greece in the driver's seat. Had a foot over the top of the blockers, but just out of bounds. Tough serve on Baladin. Vargas does not tip, she rips. Vargas continues to be a top scoring, top performing athlete for Türkiye, as the fans having a great time in the stadium. Great to see it here in Düsseldorf, Germany. Sally handles the reception. And the swing goes just long. And another challenge coming our way. Let's have a look. Oh, that's in. That is in. Greece fight on here in the third set. Back to set point. As a reminder, Greece are sitting in 5th position in the pool. They must get a win here today to have a chance of making it to the next round. And in order to do so, they've got to take this set. Vargas is making it really, really tough on them. Full rotation inside the block. And we're back to 26s. Kalac. Again to Stomansali. Big swing, but it's just long. And that puts Türkiye back in the driver's seat. Well, we're looking for block touch. I think I saw Stomansali mentioning she was asking maybe for foot over the line instead of a block touch. Might this be a wasted challenge? Oh, it's so close. So close. But no touch, so Türkiye keep the point. Match and set points for Türkiye, 27-26. Simple serve. Ball to the outside, into the hands, and the block sends it packing. Ede Erdem and Melissa Vargas finish things off for Türkiye with a big stuff block. Well, Greece can hold their heads up high. They fought tooth and nail for that last set. They did not make it easy for Türkiye, but Türkiye, with some of the best powerhouse hitters in the game and one of the winningest coaches in recent years, remain undefeated here in Pool C in Germany. They've only dropped one set, and despite Greece putting a lot of pressure on them there in the third, still only have one set lost in this CEV EuroVolley competition for 2023. They keep their place at the top of the pool. And Greece now are officially out of the competition, sitting in 5th place with no more chances. There you go, there's a confirmation of the scores. 26-24 was the first, and then a pretty rough and aggressive second set, finishing 25-16, but 28-26 is quite a fight in the third. There's an overall look at the stats. 7 blocks for Türkiye, 5 for Greece. 6 aces apiece, but look at those errors right there underneath. Underneath Greece, that 26, that number, the errors that Türkiye committed. Greece only committing 16, so that's where the chances were in the first set, but Greece, they put up a fight. Here's a look at the majority of the attacks for Greece. Down the line is the red. Cross court is Greece. Good spread across the court. Majority of the attacks coming from the left side. That was Transali doing the majority of that. And Tuli behind. And Greece trying to get their middle running as the match progressed, but they weren't able to use them as much as they would have liked. Türkiye, pretty much the same story. A lot of right side and outside hitting. Not so much through the middle, except those pipe swings there. Let's have a listen in. I think it's the libero we're going to get a chat to. Şengül Aköz.
A big win for your team. How important it is for your team?
Still I cannot hear you. Maybe we need time a little bit, huh? Just what can I say? It was a really tough game actually. They played really good. I really congratulate to them. They fought really well, but we are happy to win this game. Thank you for our supporters. Thank you for everyone.
It was tough playing against Greece. Did you expect that it can be so tough? Because the end of the first set and the third were
Actually, we are making really too many rotations in the team, and every day is different players playing. With this effort, I think we did good job. They play also really good. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.